authority, some kind of fire, started to burn the universe, the heavenly planets, So, and all the living beings, they started to struggling from this fire. It calls like fire of austerity. And so all these living beings, they came to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is like top manager of this universe, one of the top. He's a creator of universe. We believe in one God, but at the same time, he has a lot of managers. We have temple president here, but we have a lot of departments. Pujari department, kitchen department. So like system, volunteer department, and so like the universe have the same system. There is one God, but he has a lot of managers. So Brahma is actually the creator of this universe. He's the first son of Lord, in this material world. This is like the first living entity, who is called here, like he was born from the lotus. So it's a long story actually, how this universe is created, but the fact is, yes, Lord Brahma is the first creature, the first living being in this universe, and he was born from the lotus flower. It was a very big lotus flower, and Lord Brahma is so he's the creator of this universe. So every living, all the demigods, they came for Lord Brahma and asked him, we are struggling so much because of this fire. What's happening in this universe? Maybe this universe is like, it is some kind of pralaya. Pralaya means, how you translate it in English? One more time. Devastation. Yes. So what's happening now, and all the demigods, they prayed for Lord Brahma, and they asked him, what's happened? Can you save us, please? Shishikotantai Prashashi Bhagavan ki jai. And so this is the context of this story. And today's verse, O king, being thus informed by the demigods, the most powerful Lord Brahma, accompanied by Bhrigu and Daksha. Who is Bhrigu and Daksha? Two sons of Lord Brahma. Is Daksha sons of Lord Brahma? I mean, it's difficult for me because once he came as his son, but after that, when he was cut, his head was cut, and he changed his body after this. I mean, first we found Daksha in fourth canto of Bhagavatam. It is a very instructive story. Yes, he was Prajapati, and he performed this yagya, but he was offended. He offended Lord Shiva, and that is why all this story happened, and he lost his head. And after that, he how to say it, Lord Shiva bring him back to the life, but he changed his head. Instead of having this human head, he had God head. Yes. And it's a very interesting story, actually. When Srila Prabhupada described there, when Lord Shiva, he changed his head. He bring him alive again. So the person Daksha, he has another head, but the head of God. But at the same time, his consciousness was the same. So it was the same personality. Now in our times, usually people think that, we are in our mind, in our brain. How we call this substance in your head? Brain, yeah. So, but Daksha changed, his brain completely from the human to God. But he still has the same consciousness. It's an interesting story, yes. And so Bhrigu. Bhrigu Muni, yes, for sure, he's the son of Brahma. He's a very famous personality. Maybe you remember the story when Bhrigu Muni, he was like a Brahmana, and it was assembly of Brahmanas, and they was thinking, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? You know, maybe Lord Shiva, maybe Lord Brahma, maybe Lord Vishnu. And they have this long discussion. And after that, okay, Bhrigu, he wanted to show everyone who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And first he came for Lord Shiva. When he came for Lord Shiva, and they were brothers, you know, because both of them are sons of Lord Brahma. And Lord Shiva want to embrace his brother. But Bhrigu Muni, he shows like, no, don't touch me, you know. You're all in this ash of crematorium, you know, you're like, no, you're a dirty person. I don't want to touch you. And Lord Shiva was so angry about this, you know. And he just tried to catch Bhrigu and kill him, even they were brothers. So in this way, Bhrigu shows like Lord Shiva, even he's a great personality, but still he has this anger, you know. He's not free from this anger. And after that, he came to Lord Brahma, and he didn't offend Lord Brahma by words, but he, like, you know, he didn't offer his obeisances for Lord Brahma. You know, he didn't show this proper etiquette. As a son, you should offer your respect for your father. And Bhrigu Muni, he didn't show this respect. You know, and Lord Brahma also was very angry. And after that, Bhrigu Muni, he came to Lord Vishnu. And what he did, he came for Lord Vishnu, and he just, kick him with his leg, you know, in Lord Vishnu's chest. And Lord Vishnu replied, you know, he didn't show any anger. He just replied, "Oh, my dear Brahmana, is everything okay with your lotus feet? You know, don't you harm when you kick me?" And so, I mean, Lord Vishnu didn't show any anger, you know. So in that way, Bhrigu Muni, he shows the universe who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you know. And so these personalities, Brahma, Daksha, Bhrigu, and more others, and the other great sages, immediately started for the place where Hiranyakashipu was performing his penances and austerities. Okay, about austerities and penances. What do you think about this? You know, just austerity. Why he performed this? Because this was like recommended process for that age to perform austerity for Satya Yuga. And so previous ages, people practicing their spiritual practice was about like performing austerities. And sometimes devotees, you know, as a devotee, we read this and we think, okay, spiritual practice means austerity. Is it correct? What do you think? And we started to perform some kind of austerity that we just think by our own. I don't know, some people. So what I want to say, that there's like, you know, austerity in previous ages and in our times are different. Like in Satya Yuga, people perform this austerity. You know, in Dvapara Yuga, people perform this fire sacrifices. Treta Yuga means offering, you know, in the deities, performing puja in the temples to please deities. And in our time, our austerity is all about preaching, all about Harinam Sankirtan Yagya. So the right thing to do is to perform this austerity, you know, just our austerity is to preach. Our austerity is to chant Hare Krishna and to preach Hare Krishna. So, purport: Lord Brahma was waiting for the austerities performed by Hiranyakashipu to mature so that he could go there and offer benediction according to Hiranyakashipu's desire. Interesting word here is to mature. So, austerities performed by Hiranyakashipu to mature so that he could go there and offer benediction according to Hiranyakashipu's desire. So, Hiranyakashipu, he performed this austerity for a long time. And sometimes when we met devotees, and we started chant Hare Krishna on our japa beats, and we chanted it for 2 weeks or 2 years, we think, okay, I'm doing it so long. I'm doing it for so long time, Where's my benedictions? Why am I not seeing Lord? Why Lord didn't come to me and didn't show himself to me, in my prayers? But here we find that Hiranyakashipu, he performed this austerity for a long time. And quite a long time. And Lord Brahma didn't appear in front of him before his, as it says here, to mature, so that he could go there and offer benediction. Mature. To mature. So our spiritual practice also, it should take some time before we, we will attain the goal of our spiritual practice. We need to be patient. Now, taking the opportunity of being accompanied by the demigod, by all the demigods and great saintly persons, Brahma went there to award him the benediction he desired. Maybe here I would like to ask you, what do you think about this verse and this purport? I mean, how you can apply this in your spiritual life or material life, any? What do you think, Panchasara Guru? Yes, thank you. This is a very important point, actually, because maybe it is easier to get some benediction from the demigods, but Shilapada, I would like to find this verse in Bhagavad Gita. Just a moment. I believe 9th chapter. Just a moment. About this, about all these demigods. Shilapada. 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 23. I'll read from there. Those who are devotees of my gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. So this is I will read the end of the purport. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated here as avidhi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. So what you just mentioned, this to offer, to perform our austerity to please some demigod is some kind of to give some kind of bribe. So I know you're from the UK. You have no bribe here. I think the same in France, yes. But I think in India, for sure in Ukraine, and I think also in Brazil, it's something usual, yes. So what does it mean bribe? When you just, you're not supposed to achieve something, but you give some, some money. And like, for example, when I was a student in Ukraine, like I finished my school with high marks, I was one of the best in my school. But I was unable to enter university, just because like, my family hadn't money to give, just as a bribe to enter the university. But people who was like really stupid, they didn't know nothing, approximately they can read, but read maybe, but in very slow and strange way. They don't know math, but they enter for some economic faculty, of university, So, I mean, it is a system. At least it was a system. In our time, I hope it's better. It's become better. Yes. Ashish, do you have something like this in India? So here we found this wonderful Western civilization where people are not giving bribes. But again, so maybe for you it's difficult to understand what does it mean bribe, but at the same time, yes, we have this experience, and so it is very important, So Shilapada, this sentence is very interesting, The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. So Shilapada shows this example, like serving demigods and giving bribes, So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, like, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yad jihosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kauntaya. Yat tapasyasi kauntaya. Whenever austerity performed, do it for me. Yes. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi yad jihosi dadasi. So, which is the verse? What is the number of this verse? What? 8, 20, 9, 20. Oh, this will be quite soon. Just in a few verses. Yeah. Whatever you do, whenever you eat, whenever you offer or give away, and whatever austerity you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So just in a few verses, yes, Krishna said this. So no need to serve demigods, because of what Panchayat Prabhu just mentioned, why it's so, how to say it, dangerous to serve demigods. Because they can give you a benediction. They can give you a material benediction. Like, for example, if you want to become rich, you can, I don't know, serve for Lord Shiva because he's Ashutosha. It's very easy to please him and to get some benediction. But this money you get from this from demigods, for example, they will not help you in your spiritual life. Instead of this, they can really destroy your spiritual life. Because, you just asked, you perform, you do something, and you get this as a result, But Lord Krishna, he's so merciful. He's like a father, If father sees that money he give for his son, they offer for his daughter, they can, how to say it, if father sees that his child can use this money not in the proper way, maybe to buy some drugs, I don't know, maybe to just, this money can destroy this child. So father just didn't give this money for the child, And the same like Lord Krishna, he never gives this money. So, and the demigods it's more about like like you work on some company, and just you do something and you get this money. Anyway, just do this and you get this money. So no difference. I mean, the company you're working on, they don't care how you will spend this money. Yeah? You get this example? Okay. Ashish Prabhu, what do you think about this verse? I mean, today's Bhagavatam verse, I mean, what can you find? Could you find some practical for your spiritual life from this verse? I'm not sure that I'm the right person to ask question, but I'm your servant, so please. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Very good. It's a very nice question. I just need to find, I would like to find some particular purport to answer your question. Give me a moment. This is from fourth canto of Bhagavatam. Just a moment. 4, 12, 9. I will read the purport. Okay. Oh. The son of Idavida, Lord Kuvera, was very pleased and happily. He gave Dhruva Maharaja the benediction he wanted. Thereafter, he disappeared from Dhruva's presence, and Dhruva Maharaja returned to his capital city. Purport. Kuvera, who is known as the son of Idavida, was very pleased with Dhruva Maharaja because he did not ask him for anything material enjoyable. Kuvera is one of the demigods, so one may put forward the argument, why did Dhruva Maharaja take a benediction from a demigod? The answer is that for a Vaishnava, there is no objection to taking a benediction from a demigod if it is favorable for advancing Krishna consciousness. The gopis, for example, worshipped Katyayani, a demigoddess, but the only benediction they wanted from the goddess was to have Krishna as their husband. A Vaishnava is not interested in asking any benediction from the demigods, nor is he interested in asking benedictions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said in the Bhagavatam that liberation can be offered by the Supreme Personality, by the Supreme Person, but even if a pure devotee is offering liberation by the Supreme Lord, he refused to accept it. So Dhruva Maharaj didn't ask Kuvera for transference of the spiritual world, which is called liberation. He simply asked that whenever he would remain, whether in the spiritual or material world, he would always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A Vaishnava is always respectful to everyone. So, when Kuvera offered him a benediction, he didn't refuse it, but he wanted something which would be favorable to his advancement in Krishna consciousness. Is that a question? So, but I would like to add a little, just because at the same time, so Shripada here, he mentioned, yes, we can ask a benediction from the supreme persons like, Lord Shiva, also he's Vaishnava Yatashambhu, he's so crazy in love to Shishirada and Krishna that he just usually he looks like his behavior is like Avadhuta. Avadhuta, it's very difficult to understand his behavior. He's wearing this strange clothes. He's putting the ash from crematorium upon his body. But all he's doing just because of his love for Shishirada and Krishna. At the same time, so when we came for Vrindavan, for example, well, the first place we should visit it after we visited Krishna Balaram Mandir, Gopeshwara Mahadev. So usually, because he's like protector of the holy Dhamma. Gopeshwara Mahadev is Lord Shiva who is protecting the holy Dhamma, Vrindavan, from entering there, some demonical personalities. So yes, Gopeshwara Mahadev. So we can ask Lord Shiva this benediction, but at the same time, and we should ask him, yes. But at the same time, in our sampradaya, like our spiritual master is alive. How to translate in English? Sorry, is the person who is including all the demigods in him. So in our sampradaya, we offer every morning. We pray not, maybe not for Lord Shiva or Kuvera or Ganesh or I don't know who else. Every morning we pray for Shiguru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. And also like Samsara Davana Lithaloka Tranaya Karanya Ganaganatva. So our spiritual master is and Shilapadi, they're like for us, all the demigods are in our spiritual master. So also it's very important. Is it answering your question, Shish Prabhu? Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you, Shish Prabhu, for bringing our mic. Panchitara Prabhu. Yes, very nice to remember this Prabhupada story. So, also remember, have you read this book, The Journey Home, Bharatnath Swami? Maybe you remember before he came, actually, when the first time he came for Vrindavan, he went for this, actually he planned to go for northern India, I believe, to visit Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva, he bring Radhanath Swami for this, for Vrindavan. So it is possible, yes, it is possible, but at the same time, as we know our philosophy, and we already here. So I think we can please Lord Shiva just by performing our sadhana to please Lord Krishna. It's like the same. We discussed it on Radhashtami, if you chanting just, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, it's very nice. It's very good. You can attract the attention of Krishna. While chanting Radharani's name, you will attract attention of Krishna. But at the same time, if you chant Krishna, you will attract attention of Radharani. So I think, yes, Lord Shiva will be more pleased with us if we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. P. Prabhu, what do you think about today's discussion?
What is the use of any austerity? What is the use of any of these things if it doesn't lead us to bhakti? If it doesn't lead us to love of Krishna? And then we're seeing like Hiranyakashipu is performing all these austerities, he's performing all these penances, but none of them have been authorized by proper authority. So what he's doing is whimsical. What he's doing isn't in any sort of line of disciplic succession, whereas we can perform austerities, but as long as they're authorized by the spiritual master, then this will lead us closer to the Lordship. It's like one of Krishna's names is a very sweet name. I like this, Bhagavatam Janardana. So Krishna accepts the mood of he accepts the devotion, he accepts the heart. So even though Hiranyakashipu is putting in such great efforts, the mood isn't there. He's not got that heart in it. He's not doing it with the intention to please the Lord. So yeah, exactly. So for that reason, it doesn't get him anywhere good. Krishna accepts the mood, so we need to remember that before performing our austerities and before, practicing devotional service. Krishna wants us to adapt that power, adapt that mood, that heart, sentiment.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's a very nice comment. Maybe a few words I also would like to add for what we just said. I mean, the austerity Hiranyakashipu performed, it was actually authorized, but it was authorized like Lord Brahma, he loves this austerity. Lord Brahma, when he sees, Hiranyakashipu, he was so pleased with him. He was really pleased with him, and he was, ask me any benediction, because this principle of austerity is very, very important actually, this is the principle of this universe. By performing austerity, you can achieve something. And he performed so severe austerity, and it was authorized, but it wasn't authorized for path of bhakti. It was authorized just for material, some kind of material enjoyment. And yes, in that case, what you just mentioned about Bhavanahi Janardana, so Krishna accepts our mood, our real mood, and it's much easier for us, we can't even fasting on Ekadashi, for us Ekadashi means, one day without bread, without rice, how is it possible? What to think about, just about, like Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. Oh no, Ekadashi without Nirjala means like Jala means water. So Nirjala means without water. Just one day, not to drink, not to eat nothing and drink nothing, for one day. Who had this experience? Who ever fasted on Ekadashi, at least for one day without water? This, what usually happens? Your mind is just, in the middle of the day, you're like, I'm dying. I need water, just one day, really, one day. So Hiranyakashipu, he was fasting for 100,000 years. He didn't drink any water. I'm not sure that he even breathes. So he performed such severe austerity just to get this material benediction. And Krishna Bhakti is so easy path, we try to please Krishna by cutting potato and apples. And if you cut this, apples and potato and paprika, whatever you cut, if you just put your attention there, just, my dear Lord, I would like to please you, by doing so, this is bhakti. This is bhakti. No need to fast. No need to stand, on your tiptoe for 100,000 years. And this kind of benediction, you can achieve with bhakti. You will never lose, Even little, even you performs bhakti only once, when we're walking with Harinam in Glasgow streets, and people, they they make so fun and they, they start to dance with us, Just started to dance. They don't understand what they're doing, right? But they start to dance, They will forget about this, very next moment. Okay, maybe very next day, at least, it depends how strong Harinam was. But at the same time, Krishna will never forget, Oh, this person, he danced to me, on this Harinam, on this Glasgow Harinam Dashtami 2023. You remember this person who he jumped over his head? But sure, Krishna will remember him. So if we just try to please Krishna, if we just like to please Krishna, if we cut our potato and try to please Krishna by this, Krishna will very pleased with us. I think it's time to finish, but maybe Jananda Prabhu would like to add something we just discussed. Mataji, ladies, any questions or comments? Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your attention. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shilurpada Pachita Pavana ki, Shishikotintai Me Purushashi Bhagavan ki, Nidagora Premanande. Nata Koch Vaishnava Vrinda.